We have leaders who tell us that 47 million Americans without health insurance can have it with a simple rebate, the value of which most of us spend in the first couple of weeks of a year on health care. We have policies that starve our schools in the name of efficiency rather than efficacy, that tell us that we can drill our way to energy independence and then bury our heads in those same wells when it comes to global warming. So when we look at these tremendous challenges that we face, who is going to address them? We are. Who is going to combat the dangerous world in which we live, not with fear, but with resolve? We are. Who is going to demand that the greatest healthcare system in the world is available to everyone? That we stop mortgaging our children's future for our own comforts? That we're going to redouble our efforts to reinvest in our schools and research facilities so that we can once again lead the world in science, technology, and job growth? Who's going to do that? We are. Who is going to re-energize this country with a call for dramatically expanding our domestic and alternative energy supplies? We are. Who is going to recognize that change comes not from the single act of a few, but the millions of acts of us all? We are. Who is going to say again that the only thing we have to fear is fear itself? We are. Who is going to say again, ask not what your country can do for you, but what you can do for your country? We are. Who is going to finally and at long last demand a new brand of politics? We are. And our children are. And our grandchildren are. Our challenges right now, in January 2008, looking ahead to the next years, our challenge right now is a generational challenge. And we are that generation. America is born in each hospital, each school, each farm, each ranch, and in each family right here in Nebraska and across the United States. We must give birth to that renewed spirit of who we are as a state, the homestead state. And we must do it here. We must do it now. Our resolve tonight will go a long way toward building a better Nebraska, but it's not enough. We need to make sure that the fight for all Nebraskans continues not just until the next election, but beyond the next generation. We need to build a new majority that will bring people together, bridge old divides, and forge a way forward for everyone. If we want to be a party for all Nebraskans, we have to be a party of all Nebraskans. We must finally and again at long last demand a new brand of politics. We can do this and more. How do I know? Because it's being done in towns and cities across Nebraska right now. Throughout the heartland, we're seeing what a real difference a leader can make. It's that combination of strong leadership and an entrepreneurial spirit that is helping so many Nebraska towns thrive when others across the heartland are seeing people leave and jobs leave and families leave. To see what I'm talking about, just look at Omaha, right here, where Mayor Mike Fahey has revitalized the downtown, worked to reduce crime, and given new opportunities and a renewed spirit to the Big O. Just look at Hastings, where with the leadership of people like Kathy Peterson, the councilwoman in Hastings, Nebraska, this Nebraska town was named by Yahoo as America's greenest city. Just look at Scotts Bluff, where Mike Sarchette is redefining how the Panhandle can reemerge as a leader in energy production and water conservation, and in so doing, honor the spirit of the wagon ruts in the shadow of our national monument. These towns prove that strong leadership and fresh ideas can make a difference. that Nebraska can win in an era of globalization. Way back in the 1800s, confronted by the cruel and bitter uncertainties of life on the prairie, the first pioneers didn't give up. They knew that by working together, they could survive and succeed no matter how great the challenge. Well, whether we like it or not, we are the new pioneers. We face a different kind of uncertainty. The uncertainty of change and globalization. With only faith as our guide. Faith in ourselves, our God, and one another. We're charting a course to a new home in an uncertain future. I can't tell you when we'll get there. When we'll reach our new home, but I can tell you we won't know we're there until every one of us can look at each other and look after one another. We won't know we're home until we stop building walls that divide us and start finding ways to unite us. No, we won't know we're home until each of us decides that no matter the color of their skin or the size of their pocketbook, that so long as someone else is struggling, there's still work to be done. That's who we are. That's the homestead state. That's what our pioneers struggled for. That's who we are as the next generation of pioneers. It is up to us. In that spirit that brought us here tonight, and in that spirit that has made our state, tonight, before we set out on the next long year, we must demand, finally and again at long last, a new brand of politics. Thank you.